Sure, you've been here. We've all been here. Your check engine light comes on, but your car sounds, it feels fine. So, hey, why bother taking it into a shop, right? Well, our automan says you could be doing some major damage. Brian Bowersock from West Escondido Auto and Trans joins us now. We're talking, you've got some horror stories.
Oh, absolutely.
People wait forever to bring their car in.
Absolutely. People will come in and say, you know, this has been on for 4 months, and now the car's starting to have a problem. Unfortunately, when one thing goes bad on a car, it doesn't always create a drivability problem, but down the road it can damage other components, which do cause a drivability problem and become a lot more costly.
So the big question, how long can you leave this?
I would not recommend leaving it for long at all. A couple days, I mean, you have to obviously get to work, do this, but I would, in the immediate schedule, somewhere fit it into getting your car in and getting it checked out by a quality facility.
What's usually the problem when your light does come on?
Well, there can be so many problems. That's the thing. The check engine light is hooked to the fuel management and emissions management system. It can be anywhere from a catalytic converter to an O2 sensor to just a gas cap that you forgot to screw on, and the EVAP monitor ran and set a code. So it could be simple to expensive, obviously.
Right. You never know. That's why you have to take it in, right?
Correct, correct. And we get a lot of people that come in. There are some people out there that can actually pull their own codes out of their car. The only problem with that, and that's not really a problem, they come in with the code and they say, you know, I think I need to replace my O2 sensor. I have an O2 sensor code. Unfortunately, you can set an O2 sensor code for all kinds of things. A vacuum leak, a problem with a mass airflow sensor, fuel enrichment, fuel lean problem. There's a lot of things that will set all different kinds of codes. So that's where it becomes really important. Somebody trained goes through, tests the systems, and finds out what's actually defective component on the system.
Okay, you got to explain this for me. What is an O2 sensor? What does it do? Is this one right here?
This actually here is an O2 sensor.
Okay.
And what it actually does, it's screwed into the exhaust of your car. It sends a signal to the computer telling the computer how rich or lean the exhaust is. So in essence, how much excess fuel is going into the exhaust. By this, the computer will then tell the fuel injection system to richen up or lean out. And obviously we try to run the car at an optimum fuel ratio, which gets #1, best gas mileage, and #2, keeps the air clean and less emissions going out the tailpipe. The O2 sensor is a very important component. These do wear out over time. Usually 90, 100,000 miles when we start to see them fail. You can save a bit of gas if yours are extremely old. Even if they haven't turned on a check engine light, you have over 100,000 miles. They estimate $150 to $200 in gas money a year if you replace these in there. Because what happens, they get very slow in switching, and it can create a problem with fuel mileage and efficiency.
I think a lot of people are going to be interested in that, especially right about now. We do have some tips on there. You know, if you do have your check engine light on, it does mean there's a problem in the fuel management or emission system, as you mentioned. The light doesn't actually pinpoint the faulty component. That's why you got to bring it in. Driving with the check engine light on can actually damage your vehicle components. You talked a bit about that. Also, some changes in smog testing. Explain that.
Well, back a few years ago, we went to BART 97, and shortly afterwards, we actually plug into the car, and if the check engine light's on, the smog machine reads the code, and it's an automatic failure. So don't spend if you have a check engine light on, don't spend your money on a smog. You need to get diagnosed and repaired first. Otherwise, your car, it will fail smog. Even if the emissions are clean, it's going to fail because the check engine light's on.
Another reason to get it checked out. Brian, thank you so much.
No problem. Glad to be here.
Of course, if you got a car question for Brian, you can just drop him an email. Link to his website is on ours, fox6.com. Just click on Hot Topics.